This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on USVI News. I'm Ethan Kibbe. The 2022 Atlantic hurricane season is now underway. It starts June 1st, and forecasters are predicting yet another busy year with up to 21 named storms. Our John Stalen joins us now to break down what we can expect, and he has more on how hurricanes have been changing over the last handful of years. John?
Yeah, one change that we've had over the last several years is that we haven't had an early storm in the Atlantic. The last 7 years we've had storms prior to June 1st. In fact, there is thought about increasing or moving up the date of the start of hurricane season. But this year, honestly, kind of starting right on time, right on June 1st. We'll talk about that in a second. Here's the forecast that we're looking at for storms this season. Up to 21 named storms, up to 10 of them being hurricanes, and up to 5 of them being major hurricanes, a 3, 4, or a 5. Average 14, 7, and 3 here, so we're looking to be above average once again, and that is with a lot of warmer ocean waters, of course, and some mechanisms in the sky that are slowing down some of these hurricanes. This is what we're looking at presently out here. We did have Agatha that was out in the Pacific. That was the first storm in the eastern Pacific, but once it crosses Mexico, becomes the remnants of that, it could re-intensify or redevelop, and what happens there, it would become an Atlantic storm, and that could become Alex, our first storm. We're watching that off the Yucatan Peninsula. Do have a little bit of an area disturbance off of the Bahamas right now that could bring us some rain showers there, but that should move off into the middle of the Atlantic. If you're keeping score at home, these are the names for the Atlantic hurricane season 2022. We start with Alex, and that could be with us within the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll end on Walter if we get that far in advance, of course, but nonetheless, hurricane season is starting right on time and on schedule, and there are a few expected to affect the Caribbean, and we'll have more on that for you as we progress. Ethan?
John, thanks so much. Lots of excitement for this Saturday here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and that's because Governor Albert Bryan Jr. has declared the day Aliyah Boston Day. The announcement came during Tuesday's weekly news conference. The day will kick off at 11:30 with a parade at Griffith Ballpark on St. Thomas, ending at the Waterfront Promenade. It will be followed by a brief ceremony honoring Aliyah. She won almost every national basketball award this year after leading the South Carolina Gamecocks to the national championship. She recently signed a sponsorship deal with athletic clothing brand Under Armour, which also will host a free basketball clinic for about 50 local young women basketball players, 25 from each district. And the first day of June brings an important reminder for us to do our part to help save our oceans. And that's because Wednesday is World Reef Awareness Day. Oceans cover 70% of the Earth's surface and produce more than half of the world's oxygen. In recent years, the world's reefs have been in decline due to coral bleaching. In Australia, the Great Barrier Reef has decreased by 40%. In the Florida Keys and here in the Caribbean, the decline is even worse at about 90%. World Reef Awareness Day reminds us what we can do to help. 2 simple changes involve using reef-safe sunscreen at the beach and eliminating single-use plastic from your lifestyle. You can learn more at worldreefday.org. Some health news now, as it's estimated between 10 to 30% of patients suffer long COVID after recovering from COVID-19. And now new research shows even people who are vaccinated that have mild infections can experience some lingering symptoms that affect their heart, their brain, and their lungs, along with other parts of their bodies. Stephanie Stahl has more.
Sam Nordell was vaccinated and boosted when she got COVID-19 in January. Now, the previously healthy 47-year-old working mom suffers from long COVID.
Severe migraine headaches that were so debilitating. I have such sensitivity to sound that I have to wear noise-canceling headphones. I have the fast heart rate.
People vaccinated for COVID-19 who have mild infections can still experience lingering, crippling symptoms, according to new research in Nature Medicine. The study of more than 13 million veterans found vaccination reduced the risk of long COVID by 15%, compared with unvaccinated patients infected with the virus.
That's really a very small modest reduction.
Dr. Zayad Al-Ali at Washington University authored the study.
Now that we know that COVID-19 can result in long-term consequences, even among the vaccinated, it's upon us to develop additional tools, additional therapeutics.
The study found vaccination reduced risk of death by 34%, and the vaccines were most effective at preventing long COVID, lung, and blood clotting disorders.
I'm being treated symptom by symptom to try to find ways to make the pain or the symptoms manageable.
Nordell just applied for full disability.
I've been coming to terms with the idea that I will never be the same. But my hope for the future is that when I come out on the other side of this, that I will be able to help other people.
And to let them know they're not alone. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
And the study also found immunocompromised patients who were vaccinated and got COVID-19 in some cases had higher risks for long COVID. The data used for this study didn't include information about whether patients had received booster doses of the vaccine. The CDC is doubling down on its authority to issue a mask mandate for U.S. travelers. In April, a district court struck down the mandate, a move that blocked the federal government from implementing it nationwide. Tuesday, the CDC asked an appeals court to reverse that decision. The agency argues that masks are an effective way to prevent the spread of disease, and it also defends its authority to issue the mandate, pointing to vaccine mandates that have been upheld by the Supreme Court. As of now, the U.S. doesn't have a federal mask mandate, and no emergency order has been filed to enforce one.